Three, two, one. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Pop to Teacher, this special Teacher's Talk. I'm Teacher Fabi Montanari, and I'm really happy to be here with you. And today we're going to talk about writing like a pro. Tips and strategies to boost your English writing skills. So I'm really happy to be here. And I first, before we go into the topic we have to talk about today, I want to know if you can hear me well, if the sound is okay, if the audio is okay. And then we are going to start talking about this. But first, yes, I want to know if the audio is okay. And I want to know um, if you like writing or not. How do you like writing? Do you like a lot, or writing for you was always a problem, has always been a problem for you? Hi, Daniels. Good night. Good evening. Uh, so, hello, and that's it. Okay. How do you like writing? Writing, people usually think writing is really difficult, and people avoid writing. Am I right or am I wrong? Uh, but there is a secret behind enjoying writing. Do you get that? Can I continue speaking this way? Can I continue speaking English? This talk today. Can I continue in English about this? Or if you have questions, if you don't understand something, I'd like you to tell me, okay? If you can understand. But here's the thing. Uh, many people say, "Oh, teacher, writing is very difficult. I don't like writing." Or all of this started because of the yesterday there was this Enem, and usually redação is something that people don't like doing. And pay attention to this very carefully, okay? So pay attention. This is one of the most important lessons I ever taught in my life as an English teacher. And this happened a long, long, long time ago. I think about 15 or 16 years ago. I had a group of students, teenage students, like in class, like in person classes. We didn't teach online by the time. So in this group, I had 5 teenagers studying with me. They were 13 years old, mais ou menos, more or less. They were 13 years old, around 13 years old. And I remember they had a composition to do. It was a task in their books, and they had to write about an athlete that had retired or an athlete that had died, because they were uh, studying simple past. So simple, but the different grammatically, simple past is the verb tense that we use to talk about past events that are in the past. So I remember this. This was like choose an athlete, someone that is not playing anymore, is retired or is dead, and write about his career, his or her career. And then a few days later, I received this, and when I started checking, I know my students. I know them. Uh, I know each of my students, and they were pre-intermediate speakers. They were at the pre-intermediate level. And when I started reading the compositions of 3 of them, there were 5 students. One didn't hand the task in. The other 4, from the other 4, one did the task the way he was supposed to do. And the other 3 copied from the internet. In 2010, 2009, they copied from the internet. And then when I found it, it was a copy. I was very disappointed, and I came to class, and I asked the students. And as I was really disappointed, I started speaking to them in Portuguese. They were like, hi, teacher, hi. And I always say hello to my students in English. And it doesn't matter the level of English. I don't talk to my students in Portuguese. Our first language in contact is English. If you have problems, we may use Portuguese to help you. But this is not the first language we're going to use in class. This is not my first option. And then when I saw them, I was really disappointed, and I started talking to them in Portuguese in a very low voice. And I said, I want to know something. Let me ask you something. Why are you studying English? Just because your parents are paying for you? Or because you see that speaking English is a great opportunity for your future? And then they said, all of them, they said, oh, even though our parents are paying, I see that it's a great opportunity for my future. And then, okay, so we all agree that, okay, your parents are obliging you to come, are making you come to English classes. But in the end, you know that this is going to be a good opportunity for you in the future. Okay, we all agree on that. Second point, what do you think about homework? Is it a way that you think that it's a way that me as the teacher are pissing you off, or it's something that is going to help you improve your English and learn more? And all of them, they said it was an opportunity for them to learn more. I said, okay then. Now, when I asked you to do a composition like this, why did you three? And then I said, this talk is not to you. The student that had done it correctly, I said, this talk is not with you. This talk with you is with your colleagues. Why did you copy it from the internet? And I said, oh my God, I didn't know the teacher was going to realize that. I said, yes. I said, every time you wasted a great opportunity to learn more. Because speaking English, writing in English, this is the point. Because writing is difficult, teacher. It's so difficult. I said, look at me, look at my face, and I'm going to say something, and I really hope you take this forever in your life. Writing forces us to organize our thoughts. So once we organize our thoughts and are able to put it in the paper, to write it down, it means that we can think. So writing is not difficult. Thinking is difficult. But every time you waste an opportunity to think, you are you are postponing, or you are denying your ability that you should have to think. And then they looked at me and said, yes. And for everybody to understand this part, I'm going to open a parenthesis and I'm going to speak in Portuguese, this part, that exactly the way I talked to them in that moment. And I said, escrever não é difícil. O difícil é organizar o pensamento. Escrever nos obriga a organizar o pensamento. Quando a gente consegue organizar o pensamento, escrever fica fácil. A gente não consegue escrever direito, ou é difícil, não a escrita em si, mas organizar o raciocínio. Mas quem organiza o raciocínio consegue trabalhar em qualquer lugar. Quem não consegue organizar o raciocínio não serve para trabalhar em nenhum lugar. Então, escrever é uma das habilidades mais importantes que você pode desenvolver na sua vida, seja ela em português, em inglês, em japonês, em espanhol, em qualquer idioma. Essa é uma das habilidades mais importantes que você tem na sua vida. Nunca deixa passar uma oportunidade de você aprender a escrever. Não desperdice essa oportunidade. And then they looked at me. And never again they did that. It was quite a great lesson. And right after that, every time they had a composition to hand in, they did that. They weren't copying from the internet anymore. And nowadays, of course, you can say, but teacher, nowadays we have AI, ChatGPT and other AIs that are doing this. But are you really sure about not developing this skill anymore? because it's exactly the same point. Writing helps you organize your thoughts, helps you understand what you know about a topic and what you don't know about a topic. So writing is something really, really important, even though AI is really advanced and is going to improve a lot better. But are you really sure that you are going to rely on a technology to write everything you want to say? I wouldn't do that. And as a mother, of course, I need to say AI helps a lot of things. But are you going to rely your life on this only? I'm not sure. You should do that. Okay. So for these topics here, uh, some strategies. And as I said earlier in the stories, I learned to write in English before I wrote in Portuguese. I never had a teacher who taught me how to write. I just had teachers in my school life saying, oh, first day of class after holidays, write down about your holidays. What did you do in your holidays? Just write down. They didn't teach me exactly, oh, you have to start your writing with this, you have to conclude with that. They never taught me to do that, so it was really difficult for me. So maybe if you think that writing is difficult, maybe it's because you don't know how to do that. But here are some very important tips for you. uh, it doesn't matter everything that you're going to write. First topic, understand your purpose. Why do you want to write that? And we need to understand that people are going to be connected by the hooks you put in your composition, in your writing. We have to avoid merely informative writing. If it's just to inform, like it's just a memorandum, for example, or a telegram just to inform. But if you want to, if you want people to pay attention to what you have to say, you need to get them involved using some storytelling techniques. I'm not going to talk about storytelling today. Today's writing. But if you want, I can bring this topic next class for you. So some strategies to improve your storytelling. I work with that in my course with the students. We work on that. This is really good. But you can do that by yourself if you want. Okay. So understand your purpose, understanding your audience. Who's going to read your writing? Who's going to read that? And then my teachers always taught me to do that. I never go to the writing itself, straight to the point. First, I organize what's the topic, and I do that by writing. It doesn't matter if it's on a Word file, I open my computer, or if it's on my paper notebook, I just write what is the topic. First thing. So take notes about this, okay? What is the topic you have to talk about? How can you name your article? Or how can you name your letter or your email? What's an impactful name you can put on that? What are the keywords related to that? What are the keywords? So make a list. The topic, the possible name for it, keywords you have to use in your composition, in your writing. And then 3 main topics related to this. Like in bullets, just write 3 topics. Then from this is the very beginning of your writing technique. You understand the purpose, the audience, and if your ideas are clearly structured. How are you going to move from topic 1 to topic 2? How you are going to move from topic 2 to topic 3? And then you start writing. This is your first draft. Don't expect it to be ready at first. If you really want to improve, if you really want to boost your speaking, your writing skills, okay? But this is going to impact directly your speaking skills too. So this is not only about, oh, teacher, I don't need to write in English. I just need to speak. Writing is a very powerful tool for you to do that. Okay. So once you have that, then you write down. Okay. Are you taking notes, people? Are you following me here? Yeah. So once you have your ideas connected, then you write. After you finish writing, you go back to the beginning and see how many times you have repeated the same words. Imagine you say work, 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 work many times. What are synonyms for this? Instead of using work, how can I say the same thing not using work? So then you're going to increase your vocabulary. Make a list of synonyms. Then you have to say, oh, it was a beautiful day. What are synonyms for beautiful? Go to an online dictionary, synonyms for beautiful. Check on a good online dictionary. And then you find all these words that you want and make a list of them. So beautiful, awesome, maybe, depending on the context. What are other possibilities? Go there, check on it. Okay. And this is a powerful way for you to expand your vocabulary and avoid repetition, because like too much repetition in one article, in one writing is not good. People are going to disconnect from what you have to say. They're going to disconnect from your message. Okay. And then, of course, review the grammar and syntax essentials. Avoid common grammar mistakes like he is, he doesn't, I don't, but he doesn't. Like basic grammar rules. Try to look for them. Are they correct as far as you know? Oh, teacher, but this is why I'm studying English. I don't know if it's correct or not. Before you go in, for example, ChatGPT, check my writing, you do that by yourself. Because I'm not talking about writing professionally. I'm talking about writing as a tool to improve your speaking skills and improve your fluency. This is important. Okay, so is it readable? Do you know this word? Readable. Something that people will be able to read. Is it readable? Check on it. Okay. And depending on your level, you are going to use more or less connectors. Do you know connectors? This is very important. Like first, we need to decide on the budget of the new project. Later on, we are going to discuss how many people will be involved in this project. Imagine you are writing an email. Okay. So like first, later on, and another sentence. If on one hand, the company is increasing, on the other hand, the expenses are increasing as well. Like these connections, you need to be able to use that depending on your level. Okay. And of course, is it clear for you to do by yourself? For example, you need to ask if it's clear. And in the writing, how to avoid these filler words. The exactly way I did that. This is a filler word. Is the reading fluent, or people are going to get stuck because the idea is not really clear? How do you do that? Reading out loud. Read it out loud. See if you are breathing where you have to breathe. See if it makes sense. If necessary, teacher, I don't have anybody to check on my writing. Okay, what if you record yourself reading out loud this, and then you read to it later? How is that? How's that going to sound for you? How about trying that once or twice a week? When I said that I learned to speak English before I learned to speak Portuguese, not I learned to write in English, compositions in English, before I learned to write them in Portuguese. It means that my communication, my writing skill in English was more developed than it was in Portuguese, even though I'm a native Portuguese speaker, even though I could speak Portuguese. But why is that? Because I practiced a lot, at least twice a week. I had to do compositions in my English school. I know you may say, teacher, it's really tough to do that. I know, I understand that. But what if you have it at least once per week? For my students, I propose that. So my students can every week, the students participating in the online programs, they can, every week they have a topic for them to write, and then they submit for us and we correct and provide them the proper feedback so that they know where they have to improve, some other strategies. So doing that in person is really good. It's really nice to see how clear you become. And once you register that in writing, your speaking follows this. You can be sure your speaking will be better by the end of this process. What about you having this strategy of writing one composition per week for 6 months? I'm sure your English will be totally different in 6 months from now. It doesn't matter the level you are now. So once you have this as a daily habit, I'm sure you are going to make a great evolution. You're going to improve a lot. Okay? So when my students seek for this feedback and they apply it, they grow as a writer, they grow as a speaker, and they're moving really close towards their fluency. Yes, I have covered the topics. I'm going to review that for those of you who arrived later and for everybody who wants to really improve that. Stay with me. Once you need to write something, I always start by writing the topic. What do I have to talk about? Or what do I have to write about? Then I list 2 or 3 possible names for it, and I list keywords I want to use in this process. Keywords, key expressions, I list them, make a list of keywords. And then I list the topics, the ideas I want to cover. And then I start writing. Write. And then I move back to the first topic and I read it out loud to see if it makes sense what I want to say. And check for repeated words and try to find synonyms. I check on grammar and vocabulary. Is it coherent? Is it clear? Are the ideas clear? If they are not, I go back and change what I have to change. And then I read again. And I do this over and over and over. This is great for us to think better in English, for us to speak English better, and for us to communicate our ideas in a more clear way. Is that right, people? Do you understand that? How clear is that for you? Do you think you can do that, people? Or not? Let me see if I have questions here on YouTube. If you have questions on Instagram, you just let me know. Questions? So, If you have questions, you can leave your questions here in the comments of this video. If you liked it, as soon as I finish this live, I'm going to save it in your feed for you to review that. And I want to know the most important tip you heard from me here today. I want you to put in the comments. Okay? Put in the comments the most important thing you learned here today. Right after I finish this, I'm going there to Instagram and you comment on that. Okay? So people, that's it. I hope to see you next Monday again. And if you'd like me to talk about storytelling, just let me know in the comments too. Teacher, talk a little bit about storytelling. Storytelling versus very informative texts or speakings. Okay? How we can balance that in the end. So that's it, people. Bye. I'll see you soon.